Hey YouTube, it's Alicia. I decided to bring something a little bit different to you today. Normally I know it's, makeup. Maybe I think I have one haul video. And hair, mainly, it's my thing. But it was brought to my attention, I'll say, a few weeks ago that I'm pretty good with my finances. Now, if you knew me, then you know where my finance struggle, where it started and where I am now. I've come a very, very long way. So I am definitely proud of that fact. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff that people don't know. And it's not for lack of trying. It's, sometimes it's just the information isn't available. So the few tips that I know, I felt like maybe I should share it with everyone and, help someone out. And you may know it. It may be something that's simple that, of course, or it could be stuff that you had no clue. And hopefully I'm able to, bring you something that enlightens your day. So I guess I'll start with a little bit about me. Well, first, let me give a disclaimer. Like, I am not a financial guru, credit guru of nothing. Like, that is not me. I'm not in the finance industry or any of that stuff. I'm just giving my tips, my experiences, tips that helped me. I'm just trying to share with you. So, I'm from Virginia, Richmond, the capital. I lived there for pretty much all my life. And credit is not a huge issue there. Now, obviously credit everywhere, it matters, but the rule of thumb there is if you want a car, don't owe a car or don't have a repoed car on your credit. If you want an apartment, don't owe an apartment. It's that simple. And being that those two things weren't my situation, then if I wanted a place or if I wanted this or I wanted that, I'm able to get it even with a credit score that isn't, we'll say, less than desirable. That sounds a lot better, right? But yeah, something that's a little less than desirable. So I guess from there, I moved to DC for a job offer. I had the same car that I made payments on. I got an apartment. It was no deposit. And I was like shocked. I'm like, oh, my credit must be better than I thought. I used to not believe in checking my credit because I felt like every time I would check it, it would just make me like down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much debt. And it worked against me rather than working for me. So I'm like, okay, my credit must be decent. So I was there for about a year or so. I move a lot, which we won't get into that. It's no time for that. Either, it's finances or my personal issues, and I don't have that much time in the world to talk about my issues. But yeah, so I moved from there. I got a job offer in Brooklyn, New York. I have family in Brooklyn, so it just seemed like, it made sense. 1 + 1 equals, what is that, 5, 6, 7? But I moved to New York. My plan was to only stay with my family for 2 to 4 weeks tops. I just needed enough time to get approved and to move, and I would be good. I made the money. It shouldn't be an issue. I tried to get apartments before. I've never actually done the full-on research when I lived in New York before, but I didn't make that much money, so I didn't look that heavily into it. As soon as I got to New York, I started hitting the pavement, looking for apartments, going to different, places or whatever. And then everyone kept asking me, what's your credit score? And I'm like, but why does my credit score matter? Like, why is that a concern at all? Like, that's not what I'm used to. So at this point, I'm like, okay, so what exactly is needed? What is it that you guys want on my credit as far as my score goes? And they're like, well, it depends on what you're looking for. And if you want, a decent apartment, 700 should, suit you about right. If you want a less than decent apartment, then maybe 675. If you want something that has, possible crackheads roaming around, maybe 650. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, let me check. I don't even know what my score is. I go home, I get on this site, privacyguard.com. It's like $1 for the 30 days. Sorry, it's like $1 for like the 30 days to have like a trial, and that's kind of how that works. So I cancel like most people, cancel on the 28th day, and keep my extra money because it goes up to like $20 after that a month. So I'm like, okay, cool. I check, and when I tell you I was shocked, my credit was low fives. I won't give the exact number. I actually don't remember, but it was the low fives, like low teenage years fives. Like it was really, really bad. So I'm just like, what the heck am I supposed to do? I really thought that me finding a place would be a lot easier than this. And then I'm stuck living with family. Now, anyone who's lived with family, especially being an adult living with family, that's not your place, not your, whatever. You got to abide by their rules. You're bumping heads. You're on top of each other. It's just, it's crazy. I mean, it's priceless. I mean, priceless to have your own peace of mind, of your own spot, your own place, something that is yours. Some people can do it. I'm not her. I can't. I like my own space. So I was just, I told my family what's up and, what the deal was, and, no one would accept me with these scores. Like, I called and I told a few people, and they actually, like, laughed on the phone. I mean, they're New Yorkers, so what else would you expect? But, I mean, they actually laughed. Like, what do you want me to do for you? Like, you have low fives. Like, what is that? So I did research. I looked up everything, and I decided to dispute. Dispute, dispute, dispute. That's the name of the game. First off, you need a copy of your credit report. You have to see what's wrong. You can go to a lot of these different sites, Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. The score you get isn't necessarily accurate. Normally, the information that's printed on there is a pretty good indicator of what is on your credit, but the score, they use different algorithms for those sites for some reason. I'm not really sure, but if you have no clue where you stand, it's a good place to start. But sometimes it can be 20 to 40 points off as far as your score itself goes. But yeah, so I decided to go ahead and get the monthly credit check thing, and I'd have it through my bank. So it's all three bureaus, and it's like $13 a month, and it protects against, identity theft and this, that, and the other, and all the good little perks. And I check it monthly just to be on the safe side. When back to, I guess, disputing, when I say I disputed everything, I mean I disputed everything. Well, let me say I disputed everything that's negative. I disputed it all. And I'm not telling you what you should do for, legality purposes, but what worked for me, I disputed everything. It didn't matter. And I stated it as inaccurate information. If they say that you owed $101 and you actually owe $110, if you put it's inaccurate, the company has 30 days. If they don't submit something back stating what you're saying is true or false, it's gone. Simple, right? I mean, for me, that it was simple. Now, in some circumstances, they are able to get it put back on there. If it's within the 7-year mark, they can put it back on there. But just dispute. And you don't dispute every month because it looks fishy, but dispute every 3 months. Every 3 to 4 months you dispute. I started November 2013. I did it again in February 2014, then June 2014, and it has huge results that and it takes a few months. Sometimes your credit can stay, even if stuff is consistently falling off, your credit score can stay the same and very consistent, and it won't move maybe up one, down one. But I mean, ultimately, like after a few months passes, it's up. Something else you can do to build your credit is secured credit cards. Now, I won't say that I still really 100% understand the exact concept of why there's unsecured, why there's secured, why secured bumps up your credit score quicker than unsecured. But you get an unsecured credit card for maybe $250. The trick is you pay off whatever it is every month. Another trick is only use it for gas. You have to, if you have a car, or even no matter what you have, even if it's, for bus passes, like, only use it for bus passes every month. Only use it for gas every month, because it's money that you would have to have from your income that you have taken it out. And then as soon as it's at the end of the month, boom, pay it with that same money. Put it to the side, pay it with that. And when I tell you 6 months, credit score is up 50 points. It's not as difficult. It's a long process, but it's not as difficult as what a lot of people think that it is. Other stuff that can hurt your score is too much activity. If you move a lot, change jobs a lot, because they have to report it. It's little dings. I'm sorry, I got a random piece of hair on my face, but it can bring your score down like a few points, and it adds up. Something else that is like a couple points is inquiries. Like, you want to see if you can get a new Verizon phone, a car, whatever. It brings down your score. Now, in the event, I don't know how that works for cell phones, but I know for cars, or you trying to get a house or something of, credit significance, if you're going to different places within the same 30-day period, then they don't count it against you, because they see like, oh, okay, she's trying to get a house, so obviously she's going to go to different places to, check the rates and this, that, and the other within that 30-day span. But if you got 2 in August, another 1 in September, and another 4 in October, that doesn't help you. It really hurts you. I guess the next thing would be debt to income ratio. Now, the actual calculation of it, you would have to, do yourself or find out what the actual formula for it is. Math is not my specialty, nor is it my major. But there's actual, there's apps, and then there's Google that you can go on. But 40% is the absolute max, where a lot of places they look at debt to income ratio, they want it to be at 40. If you're trying to buy a house, they want it at like 30. If you're a vet, then you can have it at 40. But depending on what you're trying to get, 40 is like the max, like for you to be able to get a lot of different things. I want to say that I've covered just about everything. I think I've covered everything. So budgeting and cash books, I guess, is like the last little bit that I have. Cash book. Got it from Walmart. SE Ledger. $5. I got this like years ago. And I use it for all of my information. Sorry, why can't I get to a page? I have like a few, and this is after a few years. I don't pay that many bills. But I pretty much have at the top, I don't want you to be able to see too much of it. But it's the date, the account number, or not the account number, but what account that you're paying on, like Capital One or the Power Bill, the account that you use if you have accounts at different banks, and the amount paid and the confirmation number. Somebody tried to get me one time saying that, oh, well, you didn't pay this, and, what date, what month was this for, and then, you look it up. And doing a budget. Budgeting is key. Like, a lot of people try to live outside of their means and to try to look good for the next person, but only thing that's should be of concern is your household, what you got going on, what you can do. And if you I know a lot of military people, like lower ranks, that their income, their net that they bring home is like $1,000, and their car payment is like $500 or $600. Like, it's insane. Like how do you live like with $400 for the rest of the month? Like, That it's crazy to me. But people do it, but you shouldn't do it, because who are you trying to impress? Because those same people that you're trying to impress, where they're living within their means, that's why they don't have stuff to show. And then when you're broke, or when you don't have anything, like, or you lose it, or it gets repoed, who's going to care? No one's going to care but you. They're not going to care. People are there to see you, like, or there when you're supposedly doing good, but, they bail out when you're going through some stuff. So that would be a time where you'd be going through some stuff. I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, if you have any questions about anything or more detail, I don't do the editing thing very much. So what I do retakes until I figure out how to do the editing to my liking. Then I do retakes. So there's a lot of stuff that I said in previous retakes that I might not have said here, but that's just me. I try to be as honest and as down to earth as possible. That's just me. But I guess anything else that you have, I'm not going to put any links to anything, because I've heard of other people where they put links to stuff like it's a fake kind of YouTube video. They're acting like they're giving you advice, and then they put a link and it's actually, taking information. I'm not putting any links. Anything you want to know, go to Google. That's what I say. Axe.com, Bing, whatever your search engine of choice is, go there. Go to your bank. Go to a lot of different banks have, analysts that help you with a lot of different questions that you may have about your 401k, about your emergency fund, and all these different things. It's out there. You just have to go find it. You have to go look. This is your life. You have to plan for your future. And I'm not sitting here on my soapbox trying to tell anyone something like, oh, yeah, I got it together. No, it was bad. 2 years ago, bad. It was bad. So it's just really, I'm really trying to help. So just hit me below with any comments, with anything, you see my passion coming out. But no, just hit me up with anything that you have. And I'm happy to answer any questions or anything. I have a lot of different varied content, so it's not always going to be makeup or beauty. Even though that is what I like, it's not always going to be that. So with that said, I guess enjoy the rest of your evening, the rest of your day, and I hope this video was able to enlighten you in some way, shape, or form. Bye.